What do I do when I feel lonely as a parent? I want you to consider an issue that most parents experience, but few would ever want to talk about with others. I'm talking about loneliness. Parenting can be lonely, and worse yet, it can feel we can feel guilty for feeling lonely because we shouldn't be focusing on the need. Shouldn't we be focusing on the needs of our children? Many times as parents, we get so wrapped up in work and the demands of home life and our weekly schedules, and that we live in a constant state of survival with very little room for friendship. I once knew a mom who desperately needed prayer and support to help her walk through some issues with her college-age daughter who had seemingly walked away from the faith she was raised in for so many years. This mother would often come for counsel or support or encouragement while seeking to ensure that no one else would ever know about the struggles that was going on with their family. She was worried about what others thought about her and her family and chose to struggle alone rather than allow others to share in her burdens, as Scripture teaches us. Her isolation had led her to despair. What kind of a difference would it make for her to know that others could identify with her challenges and many more could love, support, and pray for her? And this the same is true for us as men. The struggles of parenting are far more common than we often realize, but that does not mean we should resign ourselves to making it just solely on our own. The reality is that unaddressed feelings of loneliness may lead us to fall into several traps as parents. We lose perspective and believe that our kids are the only ones struggling, or we lose confidence and then we doubt our instincts as parents or the influence that we can have on our children. We lose gratitude and thankfulness for the good things happening with our teens and families. We could lose hope. We could give ourselves over to cynicism, waiting for the next bad thing to happen. You may have felt more of these things or these thoughts pushing in on your heart and mind as a parent. Maybe you're a single parent who feels like others are judging your circumstances. Or maybe you're worried about maintaining the illusion to others that you somehow have this whole parenting thing figured out. Regardless of what your struggle is or what struggles of loneliness has looked like, you need to remember that you're not alone. The good news is that there is hope. There's so much to gain as parents when we move out of isolation. It begins when we recognize our need for others and begin taking steps toward community. So here's some key questions to help you take those steps. First one is this: how engaged are you in the local church? We can't expect to engage in true biblical community if we're not showing up and engaging with other believers on a weekly basis. Gathering for worship is the best place to start. But we also need to be involved in the lives of others through discipleship communities or a men's group or a women's group. The best place to begin looking for meaningful relationships through is what God has provided for us and to share life in the church. Another question I would have is, do you have a mentor? The idea of a mentor can feel like something only a few select people have the privilege of finding. But there is a sense where mentoring should be taking place consistently in each of our lives as parents. Is there a mom or a dad just down the path ahead of you in life's race that you can ask questions or learn from their perspectives? Who do you respect as a parent and would be willing to open up about your family life with them? Invite them to coffee, talk over the phone, find a way to engage with them, not just in the times of crisis, but in a way that you would feel ongoing support in the long term. Are you engaging with other parents? No doubt there are often challenges to this one, but sometimes we do it to ourselves. We can sit at our teens' ball game and assume that people around us don't want to engage us at the same time, that they may be thinking the same thing about us. Step out in conversation, and you'll be amazed at what great friendships may develop along the way. Begin today to pray that God would encourage you through the lives of others. Then look for ways to intentionally engage with other parents. You may never realize the blessing this could be in the life of other parents as well. It may take some trust and even vulnerability, but it will be well worth it to know that you don't have to face the challenges of parenting alone.